How's it going, everybody? This is Blister, and today we're going to be bringing you another over beer. Today we wanted to talk about Blizzcon. So with Blizzcon right around the corner, we wanted to talk to you guys about what we were expecting to see at Blizzcon. One of us does have a virtual ticket, that would be me, so we can get you some more classic WoW stuff. But we all are going to be very interested in what Blizzard has to offer this year. We know that there's going to be a lot of awesome announcements, but we wanted to specifically tell you guys what we were expecting to see from BlizzCon this year.
I actually wanted to kick off with a non-Overwatch thing, because I'm always the Overwatch guy, so I'm going to do non-Overwatch this time. I actually think we're going to get massive Diablo news. I think they're actually developing Diablo 4. We had a lot of possibilities of what it could be, like maybe a Diablo Souls was, I know, that one that Blister and I were kind of happy about earlier. Thought that might be a thing. No, I think it's going to be Diablo 4, and I think we're going to get at least news about it, maybe even a full announcement about it at this BlizzCon.
Diablo MMO?
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned a Diablo MMO, because I know that Blizzard has come out and openly said that they're against maintaining multiple MMOs at the same time. But what did they just do with Classic WoW? That's going to be multiple MMOs. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was something along those lines. I know that there's actually two Diablo projects that they're working on right now, and there's been some leaks. I mean, if you want to go check that out, go check out Riker's videos. He does great coverage of all that. But there's actually two Diablo projects that we know that they're working on. And one of them has to be new content for something. It's either another expansion, which I doubt it would be, or it's a full-fledged new game. But what kind of game, I have no idea.
Well, I think it's pretty certain that we're getting Diablo 4, so the second Diablo project is probably the MMO, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Diablo MMO. I think it's going to be exactly what you're saying there. The port and then Diablo 4, I think is a pretty safe bet.
So we recorded this about a week ago before we had more news about what was going to be happening at BlizzCon with Diablo. And we now know already about the port to the Switch, and we also know that Diablo 4 isn't going to be announced, but there are still other projects, so we still expect there to be at least two big announcements for Diablo at BlizzCon this year.
Well then, I'll kick off the Overwatch talk. And if we look at Overwatch right now, and we kind of talked about this a little bit amongst ourselves before recording, that it's kind of in a stale place. Everybody has all the cosmetics except the ones that come out for events. So nobody's buying loot boxes. All they're dropping is an occasional map, an occasional hero. It's in a pretty stale place. So the only logical solution, and there was a leak that confirms this, I guess, sort of, would be that they're going to create an expansion, and my guess is that would be a paid expansion to get some revenue back into the game.
Yeah, especially since it's not just like the game that's kind of leaking money at this point. They're also doing a bunch of stuff around the game, like World Cup, Overwatch League, a ton of other community events that are smaller than that, and that all takes tons of resources from Blizzard that is not coming directly just from game sales. So they need some kind of revenue model beyond what they have right now in order to just maintain what they're doing, not to mention make a profit for their company. So I think all of those signs point towards an expansion being pretty inevitable at this point.
But that begs the question as to what would the expansion be, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I really would love to see more single player or not competitive but cooperative elements in the game.
Yeah, just story mode. I mean, there's so much lore in this game. Like, can we have some more like missions and stuff about how Overwatch actually came to be and all that kind of stuff? Like, that would be awesome to see.
Just for some more evidence as to why this is probably the case, Overwatch does not get a whole lot of new content, and it's been that way for maybe a solid 18 months. I mean, we'll get events that are recycled all the time with a couple new skins. We'll get some random new skins. We maybe even get a hero every few months, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot going on with the game. It almost feels like the game's in super maintenance mode when they've still been trying to just balance the game and fix it and actually get it to its full release state. It seems like not a lot of content for the time that they're putting into it. So there has to be something massive behind the scenes going on.
Yeah, I was going to say that lends well to their team is busy working on something else.
So, before we get into World of Warcraft, I do want to mention StarCraft and Hearthstone. We're probably going to get a new card expansion for Hearthstone, and StarCraft, probably not going to get anything for that either. I know last year was when they announced the remake. It was last year that they announced that, right? So I don't think we're going to see any new StarCraft news. StarCraft is still going to be there. I mean, they still have the whole entire StarCraft competition going on there, so there'll be plenty of StarCraft if you're there. And Heroes of the Storm, I'm completely out of the loop on that one. I know that you two have played off and on, but you hear any news on that for BlizzCon?
I haven't been playing much, and I haven't really looked at BlizzCon news that much, but I know that there's some new hero announcements recently for Heroes. I couldn't tell you what they were, but
yeah,
probably just see some new heroes. And
there's a game. There's a game where they are just constantly making new content. I mean, that is what Overwatch should look like if their whole development team was just working on new heroes and new maps, like a new hero every month or something, right? Like Heroes of the Storm gets constant content.
Well, Heroes of the Storm, the new maps are also like new win conditions too.
Right, and they're constantly like rebalancing the whole game. I mean, it's just, that is what Overwatch should look like if they were just working on that kind of content.
Right. Well, I guess that leaves just World of Warcraft. Nothing much happening there, right, guys?
Not at all.
And have a good night, everyone.
So, anyways, we have two things with World of Warcraft. We have our retail, Battle for Azeroth stuff, and then we also have Classic WoW. And we know that Classic WoW is going to have a demo, so that's going to give us a lot of information. There isn't anything that I saw in the actual schedule for Classic WoW specifically. I think there was something on Saturday, but it really wasn't as much as you would think it would be. But there's going to be tons and tons and tons of questions about Classic WoW, and I'm sure that all of the questions, or not all, but I would probably say about half the questions that any World of Warcraft Q&A are going to be related to that. We know that for Battle for Azeroth, they're not going to talk about 8.1. Maybe they're going to talk about 8.15. They'll probably talk about some class rebalancing and all that usual stuff. Maybe we'll see a preview of a new raid that's going to be out in the future. We already know that they're actually in beta testing for the new raid right now on the PTR. I don't know if you'd call that beta testing, PTR testing. So maybe something after that we'll see, but that's I mean, other than Classic WoW, maybe we'll get a release date. Maybe. I doubt it, but yeah. I mean, that's all we can really... We're not going to get the next expansion for retail, obviously. And Classic, I mean, release date would be the best thing that we could hope for, and then just some updates on where they are. But, I mean, we're going to get a lot of that from the demo itself.
Right, and since you have the virtual ticket, you're going to be able to get a ton of news on all of this stuff we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think the demo for Classic is actually pretty big. It shows that they've made a ton of progress, because they were very apprehensive at first to even talk about it. So them showing it off and letting people play it is pretty big. Even people at home playing it.
Yeah, having people play it at home is huge. I was shocked when they said that. But the biggest part that I can take away from the fact that they already have a demo ready for this is it means that at least 90% of their data transformation from their old structure to their new structure has to be done. It has to be if they're doing a demo. I wouldn't be surprised if they told us that it was 100% done with this demo.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what they've done with that. So to do a quick recap, we've got some news from Diablo. We're probably looking at an expansion for Overwatch. I think that's probably our biggest guess, but there's a lot of evidence for that being the case. Either way, there's going to be big Overwatch news at BlizzCon. And we didn't do much on StarCraft or Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm, but we don't really play a lot of those. But we will bring any news that we find on those from the virtual ticket. And then, of course, tons of maybes for classic WoW and WoW in general. We're definitely going to keep everybody abreast of what's going on there.
All right, well, anyways, guys, thanks for listening to us ramble on about BlizzCon. Hope you guys are all excited as we are for this. It's actually going to be a really huge BlizzCon. There's a lot of big things that are going to come out of this one. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Later, baiters.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week, and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.